Hey guys, this is Angelo, and today is going to be the first part of a 3-part series that I call Eat, Sleep and Move. And when somebody doesn't see success in fat loss, in health, or if you're trying to build more muscle, it's usually because you're neglecting one of those 3 areas. And the first area that I'm going to talk about today, which is probably the most important one, is nutrition. You need good nutrition as a solid foundation. And what is good nutrition? I mean, even if you're following a ketogenic diet, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're eating healthy, because even on a ketogenic diet you can eat a lot of junk, you can eat a lot of processed food. And so when you go shopping, one thing you should keep in mind is just buy whole food ingredients. Buy something that comes from a farm and not from a lab. So if you're checking something and you look at the back of the label and it has 5 to 20 ingredients, chances are it's not good for you, even if it's low carb. So, what does a well-formulated ketogenic diet look like? First of all, it's very low carb. That's the most important part. It's gonna be around 5 to 10%, ideally more like 5% of your daily calories, and that might not sound like much, but they're all gonna come from leafy vegetables. That's gonna be your carb source. So from those vegetables, you're gonna get a lot of fiber and nutrients. And the fiber is also going to be good to feed your good gut bacteria. So keeping carbs low is the most important part, because only by keeping those away, your body is forced to use fat for energy. So that's the way your body is going to adapt the fastest. If you keep those in check for at least 1 to 2 weeks, keep those really low, and then you're going to go through keto adaptation, and your body has to use fat for energy. Next up, ketogenic diet is also high in fats, in healthy fats. You want those fat sources to be high, rich in omega-3s and low in inflammatory omega-6 sources. For example, good sources are coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, olives, coconut milk, and grass-fed butter, for example, or heavy cream that comes from grass-fed cows. And this is going to be approximately something like 60 to 75% of your daily calories, which sounds like a lot, but it's not that big as far as the quantity is concerned. A well-formulated ketogenic diet is also moderate in protein. It's going to be 15 to 25% of your daily calories, depending on how much you're working out. So if you're not working out at all, then 15% is more than enough. If you're working out a lot, then you can go up to 25%. And you don't want to go too far above that, because excess protein is going to be converted into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. And a good rule of thumb for people is approximately 1.5 grams to approximately 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. And good sources of protein, for example, are going to be wild-caught fish, pastured eggs, full-fat cheese, and grass-fed organic meat. What is this going to look like on your plate? So pretty much half of it is going to be covered by green vegetables. And then you're going to have basically 1/3 of it is going to be some meat, some meat or fish or eggs, some protein source. And then you're going to have some healthy fats. You're just going to use coconut oil for cooking, maybe add some butter on the veggies, or some olive oil or something like that to add those healthy fats. And you're also going to have some healthy fats from the meat and from other stuff that you have there. Even though it might seem calorie-wise that you're not eating a lot of veggies, you're actually eating a lot of veggies. And I recommend eating green vegetables with pretty much every meal that you consume. And also, as far as nuts and seeds go, try to eat those moderately. They're pretty much made in a way to be eaten moderately, because they're also higher in pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats. Another great tool to lose fat and to get into ketosis more quickly is to implement intermittent fasting. So for example, the kind of intermittent fasting that I really enjoy is where you don't eat for 16 hours. So basically you have your last meal at dinner at 8 p.m. and then you have your next actual meal at lunchtime the next day at 12 p.m. And the way you do that, the way you can get into it really easily is if in the morning, for example, when you get up, you make some sort of bulletproof coffee, for example, or you just make your mixture of coffee or tea with some coconut oil or MCT oil. And MCT oil or medium chain triglycerides, it's basically concentrated coconut oil, and that gets digested really fast, or it even passes digestion. It is a really is an energy source that's used really quickly and easily, and it helps your body produce ketones more quickly and to get into ketosis more quickly. So I really recommend you try that out. And then you can also add a little bit of heavy cream or grass-fed butter, whatever you prefer. And it's a great way to start with, and that's how I started. That's pretty much my go-to drink that I have in the morning, and then I eat my lunch at 12, 1, 2 p.m., something like that. And if you're interested in what I eat in a usual day, you can check up here. It's gonna be a video. I did this last week, showing you what I ate in a typical day, pretty much when I was in Bordeaux. When you're on a ketogenic diet, it's important to take care of your electrolytes, because when your body enters ketosis, it drops a lot of water weight, and with it, it also drops a lot of electrolytes that it stores with it in your muscles. And that means that you need to replenish your sodium, your potassium, and your magnesium. Especially in the first days or first 2 weeks, for example, on a ketogenic diet, if you don't replenish those electrolytes, it's possible to get some small side effects of keto adaptation, basically because your body is trying to go from using carbohydrates to fats as energy. And it's not just like that. It's first trying to look for glucose wherever it can, and then after it switches to fats for energy and to ketones. And you only do that by not eating carbohydrates, by restricting carbohydrates. And what happens there, if you don't have enough electrolytes in your system, you can get some slight headache, or maybe first few days you don't feel quite as energized. And one thing that you can do to solve that problem, for me, for example, I didn't have that at all, to kind of fix that problem completely, is to keep your electrolytes in balance and to consume more sea salt, to just put sea salt on whatever you're eating. And you can even up your sodium a little bit by having, for example, some soup bouillon cubes, which are really tasty, and drinking 1 cup of those a day. And then you need to keep your potassium in check through either eating an avocado every day, or you can supplement with some potassium. For example, I personally didn't need to supplement with potassium that much, even when I didn't eat avocado, but for some people, they might need more of it. And another really important part is magnesium. So you can either replenish magnesium through your food, through spinach and some other vegetables, but I generally recommend for people still to take a magnesium supplement. Something like 300 milligrams per day is really great, because our food is already low in magnesium anyway, as it stands right now, because of soil depletion, etc. So whenever you're not feeling your best on a ketogenic diet, or when you're starting out, electrolytes are usually the ones that are to blame, so always keep that in mind. But don't worry, the benefits of a ketogenic diet are more than worth the little discomfort that you might feel for the first couple of days. After that, you're gonna feel mental clarity, a lot more energy. Your food cravings are gonna go away, which means that you can also, for example, instead of eating 6 or 5 meals, you can just eat 2 meals throughout the day and not think about food the whole time. And you're gonna see amazing effects as far as fat loss is concerned, because your body is actually gonna help you burn fat by using your own fat for energy instead of the carbohydrates that you constantly feed it. Alright, this pretty much concludes the first part of the series, Eat, Sleep, Move. Next week I'm gonna talk about the importance of sleep. And yeah, now a question to you. Why are you interested in a ketogenic diet? Why are you following a ketogenic diet already? And what is your goal right now? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.